Hello beautiful people, welcome back once again to this amazing channel. Today I'll be showing you guys how I made this awesome, delicious, tasty tomato stew, the best ever. Try this recipe and you will never try any other tomato stew recipe anymore. So just relax and enjoy this video. So to make this, you have to first tenderize your beef, then wash it thoroughly. Then to this beef, you're going to be adding little water. Then you add in some chopped onions, add in your cooking thyme, then you add some ginger and garlic powder. But if you have the fresh ginger and garlic, you can add it. I'm using the ginger and garlic powder because I have already added the fresh ginger and garlic in my tomato puree. Yes, I will also be dropping the link on how to make your own tomato puree in the description section. So once you have added that, you add some rosemary leaves, dried rosemary leaves. If you also have the rosemary powder, you can add just a little. Okay, then you add your nutmeg powder. The quantity of each ingredient you're going to use depends on the volume or the amount of stew you want to make. Add some chopped hot pepper, fresh pepper, then you add about 2 cooking cubes. I'm using this because of the quantity of beef I'm using for this recipe. Add some salt and then stir everything to mix well. Cover this and let it just marinate for like 30 minutes, then start cooking it. Okay, place it, let it be on heat, cover it and let it start cooking. Now this little water here you have added, once the little water is about to kind of dry, add little more water or add some water to it so that this water now is going to cook the beef thoroughly. Because I have tenderized the beef, it will be easier for the beef to cook and to soften and to become tender. Like I said, I'll be dropping in the description section the video on how to tenderize beef. So once your beef is cooked, you set it aside and let's move on to the next stage. So next thing you do is to put your dry pot on heat, add some vegetable oil. Make sure your vegetable oil is enough. Then you add some chopped onions. Enough chopped onions, guys. You need enough chopped onions for this recipe. Now the next thing is to add your tomato paste. This tomato paste, I made it. Yes, I made a video on this some time ago. I'll also be dropping it in the description section. So you add in your tomato paste into the onion and the oil in the pot. You have to stir this tomato paste, stir it for a time up to like 10 minutes on low heat, so that the tomato paste will kind of lose a kind of taste that it has and it will be a little bit dry. Okay, so once your tomato paste is ready, then you move on to the next stage. So next you add in your nutmeg powder. The remaining nutmeg powder, you add it in. Add enough curry powder. Like your stew needs enough curry powder, but don't add too much. Okay, then you add the cooking thyme. Like I said, the quantity of all these ingredients depend on the volume of the stew you are cooking. Okay, add some of the rosemary, dry rosemary leaves, then add some of the garlic ginger powder as well. Then you add in the tomato puree that you have made. Okay, you add your tomato puree. Guys, don't worry, I'll be dropping the link to how to make this tomato puree in the description section. So everything you need is here, is in my channel. All you need is just to click and you get it. So you stir. So you will notice that my oil isn't much, so I needed to add another extra oil. So I added extra oil to this, then stir it to mix in so well. Okay, so after stirring, I added my meat stock. This is the water from the meat that I just cooked earlier. So I added the meat stock into the stew or the sauce that I'm making, or the soup like some other countries can call it. So you add in the meat stock into this. You can see it has started boiling and the oil has started showing a little. So you add in your salt add the salt that you want to use. Then I added extra 1 seasoning cube. I used chicken seasoning for this recipe, so I added 1 extra seasoning cube. Stir this thoroughly, and then I added some bay leaves. Yeah, I added some bay leaves for extra flavor and taste. Then add some water, but don't add too much water. Add some water, stir, stir, stir. So I tested for salt and discovered that I need to add a little more salt. So I added a little more salt to this, and then stir to mix in the salt. Next, I added the meat that I cooked, the beef. Any beef or protein that you are using, you add it at this point. So I added the beef that I want to use for this stew, because you want the nutrient, the aroma, the taste, everything to go deep into the meat and everything. So you need to add it at this point, okay? So let it boil for some time. Oh, amazing! The smell is everything, the aroma is everything. So at this point, I added my crayfish seasoning, just 1 sachet of crayfish seasoning. You can also use raw normal crayfish, just blend it. Guys, do you know this leaf? This is curry leaf. This is curry leaf. I remember growing up, we normally use this in our stew. At the time, I stopped seeing people using it. I don't know why. This will give your stew another taste that you will ever love. So guys, get it, add it to your stew. It will smell and taste amazing. Then I'm adding this stockfish now. Sorry, I made a mistake. I would have added this stockfish when I was boiling. I would have boiled it with my beef, then added it when I added the beef. But since I didn't add it at that point, I'm adding it now. I have to soak it in hot water, then I'm adding it. So if you want, you can add it. You can boil it or cook it with your beef and add it the time you added the beef. Okay, then cover this and allow it to cook until you find that the oil will settle at the top. The oil changes color and settles at the top, just as you are seeing, and your stew becomes thicker. At this point, you add extra curry leaves. God, oh my God, this is extra flavor, extra taste, extra aroma. So stir, stir, stir. Just leave it for a few seconds and your stew is ready. Guys, bring your rice, bring your pasta, whatever you want, your yam, your potatoes, anything, and you will love this stew. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video. Bye bye.